Hello and welcome back to After the Movies, the show where we talk about movies after you've seen the movies because spoilers and whatnot. My name is Luke and with me is
Jonathan.
and we're here to talk about
The Raid Redemption.
The Raid Redemption. So this is a martial arts movie. I hadn't seen it before. So Jonathan, thoughts?
Thoughts on The Raid Redemption? It's I guess it's a few years old now. There's a second one out, which just for the record is not nearly as good as this first one.
I'm shocked.
And this first one is a foreign film directed by a Welsh dude, and this movie's just insane. This movie is just insane with lots of awesome martial arts, but also extremely bloody and vicious martial arts and gunplay and knife play and all that kind of stuff. I went and saw this movie when it was out in theaters. It was kind of under the radar for most people because it's a foreign film and it's not like getting any crazy awards, and the Oscars would never look at a movie this good, so they, they just moved on. Anyway, the story of this is not like it's enough to keep you going and interested, but there's not it's not a fantastic story by any means. This movie is really just a great Die Hard excuse. That's all it is, just a Die Hard excuse with crazy martial arts. And going to see this movie in the theater was an intense experience and really, really, I don't know, just it's an action movie fan's dream in a lot of ways. It's just really taunt movie. The whole movie is just wall to wall violence, but in the best possible choreographed manner. And it's really exciting, really entertaining. And I was realizing today I'm almost a little exhausted, not because it's an emotionally draining film. It's just holy crap. There's just watching guys do some of the most crazy stuff ever drains you at some point. It's awesome, but woo!
Yeah.
These guys kick some booty.
Yeah, and I was never, you're never like, oh man, are they not gonna make, you with this kind of movie, going in, okay, everybody's going to be dead at the end except for this guy or that guy or maybe this person over here. So I wasn't really worried. It's kind of like Bond, where it's like, well, if he dies, it's gonna be kind of dumb. Like what happened to this movie? Like whatever. But at the same time, yeah, you're like I'm not a martial artist, which is shocking, I know, but like you're sitting there, you're like, whoa, Now I will say, some of the choreography, you're like, and you just stood up and walked away from that, like good job, so there's some of that, but for me, I don't know, I just love really clever or really like what ways of killing people. So like when he grabs the kid and then like falls into the other room and like snaps his neck on the way down, that's awesome. And then they cut, and he actually also like impaled him on the jagged edge of the door. I was like, okay, well, that's like,
there's a lot of moments in this movie.
Well, and really for me, the worst parts are when it's when it's building. Like honestly, the hammer to the face at the very beginning was the worst moment for me because you're waiting for it. It's coming.
Anticipation.
And then it happens. Whereas when you're just slaughtering 30 guys in a hall by stabbing them multiple times as you flip each other, like that's awesome. And that's just like I'm just like, wow, that's impressive. Good job.
And they reserve that anticipation moment for the main bad guy of the film. And that's been important too, is they're making it really uncomfortable and painful and gross in the nth degree. They don't even show you the actual hammer kill. They actually cut away, which I'm thankful they did. But
well, actually, that's often worse because your imagination's like, what? Whereas if they show it to you, it would be like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's what happens when you stick a hammer in your head.
Depends on who's doing the special effects. Depends. Anyway, it's one of those things where they reserve that for the bad guy, just so that you really do hate him. You get that he's evil. You really don't like. You naturally feel uncomfortable anticipating terrible things with that guy around.
Yeah.
Whereas when with the good guys and they are doing relatively horrible things to people's bodies, it's in self-defense. It's fast-paced. It's very much survival, and you care about them surviving. You don't care about the other guys surviving.
No.
Those other guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Meth addict.
Right.
Jacardans.
Yeah, we don't care about them. I will say, like, like, the movie opens with like, hey, you should care about this guy because he's got a family, and you're like, sweet, I care, and that's it. Like it doesn't matter. Like it does not matter at all. You're just like, yep, I care for you. So, but let's talk real quickly about things that just didn't work for me, and I don't know if anything didn't work for you, but for
Sure.
me, like, so you've got the guy who's like the good guy, bad guy. He's like on the good guy's side, but he's actually the double crossing
His
coward
brother.
who blah blah blah. No, no, not his brother. The lieutenant or the
Oh,
colonel or
the
the
white-haired dude?
yeah, white hair
The
dude.
only dude with white hair in the whole movie?
Yeah, okay. So the old bad guy, okay, who's like, on the police force, but he's really just trying to get money for himself or whatever the crap. Okay, so like he shoots the hostage, which is like rule number one. Like, come on, guys, hasn't everybody watched Speed? Like, bam, shoot the hostage. That's the best way to take care of this situation and get him to shut up. Okay, so that's that. But then he's like, well, crap. Now I guess I'll shoot myself. And for me, I was like, that just doesn't fit the character at all. He'd be like, how am I going to like kick some major booty and survive? Like he's a survivor, and so to be like, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my goodness. I was like, whatever. No, you're not, and I just don't even care. Like, just
What you're delving into here is definitely the weakest part of the raid, which is its story. That's the thing. The raid is not a really good story. Like I do like the brother characters
Yeah.
interaction. Like that works well.
Their little
There's
interaction scene,
some
really
of the good
good.
guy characters and some of the character moments, I guess, really
Yep.
work, but the plotting is not very good. Like he sets up his excuses for basically why they're in this bad situation and they can't get out. There's no one else to help them, which is basically the white-haired dude.
Yeah,
And
and that's okay.
and it works.
Okay with
Like
that. Yep.
it's the thing. This movie is taunt enough that it just works. And yeah, there's moments like that you're like, what? But you don't really care
Not really.
because you're exhausted because you just watched the Mad Dog get a fluorescent light bulb in his neck and then they barely survived after the guy had a freaking neck wound and was bleeding profusely. And it was
Yeah. And I mean, for that sequence, like, okay, we're gonna break both of his arms and his back and his neck, and then we're practically gonna decapitate him with a light bulb because he's a bad dude.
But that's the thing. I don't know about you, but I think one of the things that this director and this team does really well in this movie and in the next one, even though I hate the next one in many, many ways, especially in their fight scenes and their choreography, like you really kind of feel the story progression in that of the
True.
characters together.
True.
So the Mad Dog, we already know he loves to fight. He wants to kill people with his bare hands. We already know he's going to be an unstoppable kind of guy. But you start to just watch the fight, right? And you watch these two guys do everything they possibly can to put him down. And it's just not working. It's just not. This guy is just getting out of everything. He won't stop. He's taking a beating. He won't stop. And you're like, this is really bad. Like, I know they have to win, or else this movie really does suck. But like, they have to win. But how do you beat this guy?
Yep.
He's unstoppable. And then especially when he gets the light bulb, it reminds me of a very different movie, but it reminds me of a small moment in The Dark Knight Rises with Bane when his mask gets cut. It's this idea of the bad guy who's already powerful, who's already dangerous. As soon as you kind of get that chink in their armor, right? You start saying, "Oh, I can maybe beat you. You're wounded." They just go crazy. They go crazy. They get more vicious. They get stronger, and it's all because they're scared, like a wild animal. And that's the thing. It really, the Mad Dog thing that we begin with, we only know him as the Mad Dog, so him being a wild animal makes total sense. But it's kind of riveting to watch him be changing in the middle of the fight. He's already been crazy the whole time, but the way he does his last moves and he's trying to just going
like
nuts.
Just slamming the head into the concrete again and again, and you're like, dang! And then they walk up and get away from that. But it's okay. Time.
That's the thing about this movie. So is there anything else that doesn't work for you?
Well, okay, and then I will also say that the opening of the movie where it's like, we're riding in, and you really don't need to take the time to be like, well, this dude that we're going after, he's really bad. And by the way, other people have tried and they failed. So we're going in, guys, and we're going in strong. And why are we going today? Doesn't even matter because we're going in today. So I just want you to know, let's go. Oh, 30 seconds? Let's go, guys. And then they like get to the door and they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to go in 2 lines. So, but like after that moment, I was in. Like the shot of them like splitting and then like following them and like all the steady cam like looking at them shots, like that just worked. It worked, and it worked so well for me. I was just like, yes, let's go kill things. Oh my goodness, yeah, wow. Okay, and that just the rest of the movie, just that. Like, whoa.
Again, plotting not so great in this movie. At the same time though, that's not like that doesn't bother me. I kind of enjoy it. I mean, it's typical setup. It's just like, look, there's a bad guy. And that's the thing. He says there's a bad guy. We then cut away. to the scene that tells us who's our 3 bad guys.
Yep.
We see them visually. We then see the main bad guy do the hammer
That edit was brilliant, by the way. Like, don't worry, he'll put 2 bullets in you. Cut to quietly eating his soup, and I'm just like, oh yes, yes.
And that's the thing. You need that moment, and he sets it up with a dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I think it's okay. But granted, again,
No. That build up to that moment was great, and then when we cut back and they keep going, like,
okay. I mean, again, it's the plotting problem,
yes,
right? It's
yeah.
just so. But that's the other thing I want to hit on the other side is the majority of this movie is what this team excels at, which is obviously the martial arts and the choreography there. And I can't be understated. The acting, so to speak, in the methodology of fighting is a hard thing to do, and they do it really well.
They do.
But the other thing that's going on is the camera work. The lighting is fine. It's okay. You don't notice it, which means it's good, basically.
Right. It's solid.
But the choreography of the camera, the decisions of the edits, the angles they choose to go along with the fight are just perfect.
Superb.
And that's something that will carry over in the sequel if you, poor audience viewer, decide to go through that 2-hour mess. There's a couple good scenes there where the choreography, again, is just spot on across the whole board. That's what this team excels at. It's just action done really, really well and intense and just getting you into it. So The Raid, fantastic action film study. Best martial arts movie probably the last decade that I've even been aware of. Best action movie goes to Mad Max, but action martial arts movie, that goes to Raid Redemption.
Okay. I will say the piece that I just, that was just like, yes, okay, you went there, you did it, is the whole like sword through the wall, through the cheek thing. I was just like, yeah, good job, guys. Good job. So The Raid, it was, for me, a lot of fun, even though violent in some places. We're like, whoa, okay. But like, good times for martial art. If you like martial arts movies
and you can handle the violence,
this one's a pretty good ride.
Kick your butt, man.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Cool. So thank you guys for joining us for After the Movies, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.